In my last video, I was talking about my first restaurant job, and I ended the video with it wasn't the next restaurant job. It would be I continued employment with hotels. Now, how I started with hotels was I had just gotten married, and I moved to Lancaster. Well, my parent oh, that's yeah. Uh, no, no, we weren't married yet. Actually, I just met Joanne just as I left this first hotel, I believe, and it was in the end. The ending was in August of 1999. But yeah, we first got to we moved from Philadelphia to Lancaster, purchased a house, March 1998. And then we began searching for jobs. Who moves to another town or city without having a job first? Unfortunately, we did. uh, Now, living in Philadelphia for 12 years, and we just quit with the real estate company. I don't know. There were some circumstance stories why we left Philadelphia. And not to the point of not describing why. I would label it jumping the gun. Maybe Philadelphia was getting that bad for us anyway. Um, when we get to Lancaster, we are immediately looking for work, and he said, how do you pay your mortgage? How do you pay your utility bills? And you only have work." We did we did that, but my mother was the first one to get work, and it was part of the hotel cleaning staff, like the maids cleaning the hotel rooms, setting them up. And within a few weeks, less than a month, she told me that there were at least two restaurants, I think, in Lancaster Host Resort. One was a nighttime fine dining. I'm trying to remember the name of that one. But the other one was breakfast and lunch. I think they also did dinner. I think. It was called Vista's Restaurant. And I started as a busser, busboy, whatever you want to label it. It had to be in list 150 to 200 seats. It had a good the windows around the restaurant were similar to what you would call the former windows of the World Trade Center. You could look out to the big golf course behind Host Resort. It was a beautiful place. But I'm fortunate that the first manager I had, Shirley Bartholomew. I'm sorry, it's been a long time. Shirley, wonderful woman, wonderful manager. It's one of the rare times in the history of my employment with the hotels and restaurants that a manager is hands on, and she was in her, I believe, had to be 60s, I think. Wonderful person, worked with us, and she, I guess part of it being a manager, the GM, she had to wear a skirt, and it was tight around her to walk, but no, she bussed tables with us. Dealt with the customers, and I felt it was the first time I had real respect for the hotel and restaurants. The first manager I had true respect for that worked with us physically. She had to when the place got real busy. Real busy as most hotel, in especially in the summer. And we had a line of people, and she helped us. The servers clearing the tables, I was clearing tables, and she was clearing the tables. I had such great respect for her. One of the few managers that didn't micromanage or hound you, watch you. She worked right along with us. Also, another staff member, I remember her name. I know in this video I'll remember her name now. I wish I could see her again. She was a wonderful. She was one of the one of the elder servers. I'm finding it disappointing in myself not to remember her name after all these years. She was a wonderful person. The elder server, she got the first tables anytime when customers came in. She was the first one to get tables. She treated me with such respect, and she saw my work ethics, and she was always happy to see me. She was one of the first people that this song, the theme song, Cheers, the Cheers sitcom, everyone is. Sometimes you want to know where everybody knows your name, and she always said, "Hi, David." No, she was a welcoming person, especially with me. Um, for the most part, all the servers were great to me. It was more the uh, management of the hotel, and the person, a particular person, I don't really want to name names. There was a particular person in the hotel that was really hounding and micromanaging. Did not get along with him at all. He was the food services manager, I guess, who was above Shirley. It would be Shirley's boss, whoever was in charge of the food services of any kind of the hotel. Did job like any other. It can be good and the bad. It was just a job. But Host Resort, um, it was, I think, if not the first hotel in all of Lancaster, because they on the far, well, depending on what direction. If you're inside the hotel, it's on your right. It's on your right. But if you're outside the hotel, it's on the left. They had a massive auditorium, a theater, and there were posters in a backstage area. But as I said, if you first walk in, not the stage area, but in one of the entrances, not the people entrance, but our entrance. There were some posters in one section. Backstage area, I guess, our entrance was posters in the '60s, and there were several posters of what was the Rat Pack. Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, or whatnot, the 60 stars. So you could tell that this place has been around a long time. And even because it was the Amish farm area, the entire area of Lancaster is known for its Amish tourism. That's where the big focus of the Lancaster Host Resort sign was an Amish buggy. And you can get that, a lot of those buggy rides for like guests, for tourism, and that's what attracted us. We were tourists of the Amish farm area for a few years, and that's why I don't know why Dad decided, let's move out here. The theater, I saw also a poster that Weird Al Yankovic had his major hit Amish Paradise. Love the song. And he, I believe, started the tour at Lancaster and the Lancaster Host Resort, because I found the poster of it. Very large theater. I never really saw it operating, though. I was mostly the breakfast and lunch crowd. And it was difficult when, the hardest part was actually, summertime, and also Sunday we have 6 busloads of elder senior. I think it was mostly women. I'm not sure it was a mixture, couples, men and women, older, senior. It was a bus tour. At least 4 to 6 bus tours. Yeah, with the exception of the summer, and the summertime, especially, you have the large golf course, and that was one of the biggest attraction of the hotel. And the Lancaster Host Resort, if there's a few hotels, not like now, there's a ton of hotels now on Lincoln Highway East, the main strip of business in Lancaster. There's a ton of hotels now, and Lancaster Host Resort is now being renovated. Last time we visited in 2016, 2018, and it's being completely renovated. I don't know what it is now, but karma. for being, they thought they were, yeah, they were the original hotel. Probably the first big hotel. But they believed they were the only hotel. It was an arrogant thought on their behalf. And that was the Vista's restaurant, and also the next one. I had worked also in the other restaurant, and it was very high, expensive, very expensive restaurant. And when there was a major snowstorm, one of the stories I really want to tell. One of the major, as much as I'm being negative about this hotel. It was just It was just a job. Fond memories are more the few servers that I knew, and it was a job. Shirley, the GM, and the elder. And it's gonna bother me and bug me in this video about. I'm gonna remember her when I'm done this video. There were a few good. There were a few good servers. I never really had a problem with staff other than the hotel management. I was going back to the story of that the other higher end expensive restaurant. A major snowstorm hit Lancaster. They shut down all highways, shut down the buses. I was still using buses to get home, and how am I going to get home? And they shut down the roads are so bad you couldn't even travel. There's practically if I'm not mistaken, with a travel ban too. So the hotel was, at least the few times the management was good to me outside the restaurant. They I don't remember who was. I only worked in the night restaurant once in that snowstorm, and they were good to me. That they gave me a free room to stay over. But no, the restaurant wasn't busy at the moment. But then all of a sudden, because Vista's restaurant wasn't a nighttime, it was, but the nighttime restaurant was more. It's gonna bother me. What's the name of that place was? The second restaurant. I'm hoping I get comments about Lancaster Host Resort. Anybody who worked there, tell me what I'm forgetting. But they let me stay in the hotel overnight till the roads cleared, the buses restarted back home. And busing tables, I made a grand total of each table at bus $20. I made $100. So there were, you put a lot of hours in, and the more difficulty was resetting the tables for a night. Yeah, the Visitors Restaurant I didn't know about the nighttime business they did. All we did was set up the silverware, and this place, I think it was the double fork, and we wrapped up the silverware, all cloth wrapped, nothing paper, not paper napkins. It was all red cloth wrapped. But also we had stuff wine glass. Every table, each seat had got a wine glass, so we stuffed red cloth into each glass. And I took so long clearing the lunch once that the nighttime business that started 4 Vistas, that people were coming in. I was just finishing. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock at night. It was I remember one of the busiest ever. I was by myself busing, and then comes the kitchen staff. It was mostly just Hispanics, nice guys. They were loading. They had a gigantic dishwasher. It was the size of a truck. What kind of a truck? I'd say half the size of an 18-wheeler. I'm not saying large in height, but length. And I didn't, there was a conveyor belt. The more difficult part about busing tables we had very large oval, and Olive Garden had the same thing. Large oval trays. We placed all the glasses and dishes and silverware, and we put them on this very large metal cart, and this thing was huge. The problem with these carts, there were at least 2 to 3 carts, they were so huge. Now these things were practically the height of an 18-wheeler truck. I'd say about 4 or 5 feet in length, very tall in height, way above my height. I'm 5'7". These things had to be 6, 7 feet in height. The problem was the wheels were so full of grime. The wheels were very near impossible to push. It would take 5 whole minutes to push it very carefully because these metal carts were full of the trays full of glasses and dishes and whatnot. And I'd say 1, 2, 3 times in the time I was there, a year and a half maybe, the whole 3, 4 tier level of these large metal carts that we had to push these carts to the back. Oh man, I'm not even sure how long length it was. 20, 30 feet, 40 feet. I don't know. It was a good length. We had to push these carts to the back. Sometimes it was easier to take these trays of dishes right to the dish area but only one cart had good wheels, and we loved using them. But sometimes the night staff used these carts, and they were full, and it was too much. There wasn't enough time to clear anywhere to put these trays full of dishes. So we ended up having to use the carts full of dish. No, the carts. They had the bad wheels, and guess what? The entire thing would topple over like a building being demolished. And if the building doesn't go flat pancake downward, it would go off on a side, an angle. The entire cart, 7 foot high, 3, 4, 5 feet, about 4 or 5 feet long in width. The entire cart toppled over. Everything crashed to the ground. Yes, it happened about 3 or 4 times. Oh, maybe more than that. 4, 5, 6 times. The place was very old, and all kitchen staff knew it. That's one of the biggest complaints we had about the place. The arrogancy of the management, the arrogancy of the hotel being the older statured restaurant. But the kitchen was very old, and like a lot of places that are old, they want to act like they're brand new. So that was a disrespect I had for Host Resort. Is acting like they were day one brand new, and they're very, very old, decades old. They refuse to acknowledge that part. And I got frustrated. I don't know. The times I got frustrated with bussing tables and restocking a shelf was times I would slam an entire cart of glass cups, and I would make noise, and I get frustrated, and I got written a couple times. And then. Like some of the restaurants in Lancaster or where we live now, some of them, my past restaurants, they didn't want to hear that one person can't do it when it's so incredibly busy. I asked for help, and I once said to Host Resort management, I'm honestly God, I'm not sure it was Host Resort. It was Host Resort or the Olive Garden. And I'll have a separate Olive Garden video, and I'm gonna be very carefully about that place. The one statement I said to management was, "You have 1 million people out of work in this country. Can't you hire a few people to help me?" It's the number that bothers you. That's how they talk to you. Host Resort was just a job, first hotel job. And since it's no longer, what it is now is totally renovated. I don't have to change names. Don't really care. That's why I can talk about this hotel. Now, here's the one thing when I left Host Resort, and I'll give you the story of how I left. It upset that elder staff, the server. I was so close friends. She begged me not to leave. She really did, and I says I got no choice. Got threatened by management. Change your attitude to leave. It was just frustrating, like a lot of jobs can be. And it was my first hotel, but it was a restaurant, hotel restaurant, however you want to label it. And I was glad to see when I went up back, we returned to Lancaster. I was glad to see it renovated. And I said how the mighty have fallen. I said they were so arrogant, thinking they're the only hotel. That's what they acted like. Olive Garden was the same way. They acted like they're the only restaurant in the entire area. But came down to August 1999, and I'd given notice because now I'm going on, and now my father had been hired by the hotel next door, about a block down, Ramada, and I was being hired as the maintenance staff, and I had given, oh man, I'd given, I think, a week's notice because of the threat of change my attitude. No, okay, what I'm gonna say, when I'm talking about attitude, the attitudes, especially with a hotel, without a doubt, the hotel, like like a restaurant management, a restaurant host. When the people come in the door, you're gonna be hospitable, you're gonna be personable. To get your guests, your customers, whether they want to talk. I didn't deal with the people. However, I did. I worked in Vista's restaurant. I did the breakfast buffet and the hotel buffet. It was a lot. I think a lot easier and a lot. I have several photos I want to post about it. I have large photos of the buffet, breakfast buffet and lunch buffet, and I did a great job of setting those up. As buffet attendant, it was fun putting the food out. And the most the only difficult thing I had about being setting up buffet for especially breakfast, especially when you had, like I said, on Sundays, especially Sundays when you had 4 to 6 busloads of seniors. One of the craziest stories I've ever told, and I always said, some people say, oh well, something is a waste of food, or something wasn't used. And that, man, we all say, well, that's a waste of food. I'll tell you the ultimate waste of food story when it comes to buffets. It was a Sunday. Some of them would eat their full plates. They're Amish tourism. So I saw some people, these seniors, they take a plate and fill up the buffet. You had eggs and bacon and French toast, pancakes. You name it. This buffet had it. Everything you possibly think of, sausage and scrapple, everything, food wise and breakfast wise. You cereal and everything possible. We set up juice. We set up coffee. We set up you name it. This is a massive breakfast buffet. You would think it's a hotel. It's a buffet. It's a buffet restaurant. I was more. I think we had lunches. Yeah, we had lunch buffets too. But you also could order from a menu. And the buffet, I think, was $7.99, $8.99, $7.99, $8.99. I saw these seniors fill up an entire plate of everything from each of the buffet. They fill up on eggs, bacon, scrapple, pancakes. They fill the whole plate up. Then I saw them eat one. They take a fork and eat one thing. Dump the rest. Unless they put them in containers. I didn't see them take takeout containers. I didn't see them do that. I saw food being dumped. One ate one thing. It's like they had to quickly. I think they had a time limit of how long it took each senior to go through the buffet. I guess they had a time limit on eating because they had to get back on their bus. But then I had to keep filling up. I think there's a time limit. That's why they thought they could grab. It may not have had takeout containers. I don't remember takeout containers being given out. But I saw them. They filled the entire plate and they ate one or two things and then dumped the whole plate. Here's the thing, and there was so many seniors. That's why it took a long time to go through the buffet. Then the lead kitchen. There was an older guy that set up the. They had this mobile oven. Most restaurants had. Some restaurants had, and hotels had them. Especially the hotels. They had the mobile, these ovens with wheels on them. I went back there and I need more eggs. I need more bacon. I need more this. I need more that. And he said, "How or why?" No, he thought he made enough. It was about 3 to 4 containers of eggs, and he had multiple containers of each item. But we saw the trash cans filled with eggs and whatnot, all this. What in the world? they grabbed so much that, but they had no takeout container. I think it's because they had no takeout containers. That's why they ended up getting wasted. No, it was. I always call the biggest waste of food I've ever seen. I guess more the seniors' time limit of getting through the buffet versus, oh, let's grab what we can, but then they find out there's no takeout containers. I think that's why the food got wasted. Oh, one other quick story I want to give. It was there was a very short Russian lady, very nice. As most of the servers were very nice girl, no, women, and they're very older. One was a Russian. She had just come back from a trip from her home native land, Russia, and she brought some candy with her, chocolate candy, and she was handing them out. Cool, thanks. But what she did not inform us is it had vodka, real alcoholic vodka in it. And when the liquid, sometimes my dad used to buy, we used to buy the cherry inside of chocolate, and there's cherry liquid inside of it. No, this was pure vodka, and it was a unbelievable bitter taste. What in the world? Oh my god! And she apologized. She said, "Oh, I didn't know you didn't like that." She says, "And I don't drink alcohol." And she was apologizing like crazy, and so that's all right. But it was the first time I had probably gotten a taste of straight alcohol, and then it's it's probably the first time my mouth encountered real alcohol, and the bitter taste I have now for it. It was the instant turnoff. That's why I don't like any alcohol at all, beer or wine or vodka or anything like that. I have an immediate bitter taste, and that was the first time probably I had a real major alcohol in my mouth from that chocolate. And she because she was given, it was chocolates from Russia, and automatically thinking she automatically, I believe she automatically thought that everybody knew that chocolate from Russia had vodka in it. That can't be true, that all chocolate from a different country has alcohol in it. But she did not inform us of that, and most of the staff didn't care. They didn't know anybody would drink. I don't. That's one story I had to add on. Lancaster Host Resort, how it ended, August 1999, and I had an ultimatum from the hotel management, not the restaurant management, the hotel management. I think even Shirley was gone. Either she was fired or she left because, hotel management. That's how they treated us. That the hotel was more important than the restaurant, and Shirley was always defending me against management. I think she was out, another one came in, and she was half as bad as the hotel management. So I'm honestly glad times I don't remember names. Some management they go along with the restaurant management will go along with the hierarchy of either the hotel or whom owns a restaurant, instead of working with your staff, understanding your staff's problems. Know that the restaurant or hotel is above all else, and some places are a lot like that. I really didn't have a key problem with hers. No, she was like a, lack of a better word, sympathizer. But I think it was a couple days I gave notice. That's when the one senior server, my friend, she was upset I was leaving. And within the last 2 days I was going to leave, go to work at Ramada, a major hurricane, a major rainstorm. It started out in Florida as Hurricane Floyd. And when I left that morning at home, we saw the hurricane was down in Florida. This thing moved up the East Coast so fast. It was like, when I got home, you saw it on the radar picture of the news. It spiraled, literally a spiral, like a slinky, all the way up the East Coast. And I knew the rain was in Florida. But when I left, like probably 1, 2 in the afternoon, it was pouring, drenching, buckets of rain coming down, and I had no coat. I was drenched, waiting for the bus, walking home after the bus, and then I called Joanne, and we had just met. We met August 2nd on the phone online, and I told her I quit. I'm done with hosting. I'm going over Ramada. She was happy about that because I was so frustrated with how the hotel manager was treating me, and eventually, the management of the restaurant. And I called the next day. I'm sick. Yeah, that was August 1999. Hurricane Floyd was the straw that ended Host Resort. And within, I think it was the next day, I was going right to Ramada and working with my father with hotel staff, helping him out any way I could, just the same as we did in Philadelphia. I helped the maintenance staff get what we wanted. I was like a partner in fixing things, moving things, and I'll be talking about the Ramada Hotel in the next video. So this was how Lancaster Host Resort. And the one thing that Host Resorts that I'm going to end this also. I was going to end how I my time with Host Resort. Host Resort had a I can't even tell a some restaurants have this too, where if you know people that want to work, want a job in the restaurant business, they'll give you an incentive that you'll get a discount, or they'll pay you that bringing in other people to work with you. Oh, I have a friend of mine who needs a job, and the hotels and restaurants had this. I think they still do it. Of an incentive to you'll pay you like it was like 10, 2,500. I don't know what it was. A little bit amount of money. Well, within about 6 months, within 6 months of working in a hotel, I think it was 6 months or a year. I think it was a year. That my mom talked to the management, her bosses, about now that my mom had told me about the job at Vistas. So she approached management about that money that if you get somebody, if you they didn't say family or friends. I think they did, but Host Resort is just how arrogant and selfish they were. When my mom said, my son's working there a year, so I know didn't you said if you know people know someone that needs a job, will pay you a little bit of money, a little credit, I guess, a little bit of money, and they told her that you both started at the same time, and that's BS. I started 3 weeks after her, and she was a maid too, and cleaning up the rooms, and I was in a restaurant, two different jobs, but they said, oh, you both started at the same time, so they screwed us out of that incentive money. I'm glad they're closed. One of the few. No, it was an experience, and all I can say about Lancaster Host Resort, it was an experience. And you need personable skills, hospitality, good with the friendly face, a smile, when it comes to working in a hotel, without a doubt. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, like or dislike, and thank you for watching.